But you know what time it is. 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 Hey guys, and welcome to Little Blackbird 91. We are talking to you guys about the 6 reasons why you decide to stonewall. The 6 reasons why you decide to stonewall. And even if you don't stonewall, maybe this will be of interest to find out maybe why your partner or why you have experienced somebody stonewalling you. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that as the show goes on. But if you're new to the channel, do me a favor, like it, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notifications are up, loads. And for those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is, baby. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. Stay hydrated because the streets out there are hot. All right, let's get into the video, not wasting much time. So again, stonewalling is behavior intended to be purposely evasive by a refusal to communicate with a partner. Right, it's you're intending to evade the communication. You're intentionally refusing to communicate, and so you evade all types of communication with your partner. So I want to deal with the 6 reasons, and there's probably more, but we just broke down 6. Number one, this is the most nefarious of all the reasons. Number one is a means to manipulate a situation so that you can get your way. This is what abusers often use. Narcissists use this. People who want to take advantage of you, basically abusers, will use this as a tactics to break you down. They will use stonewalling and silent treatment to get you to feel bad about what you may or may not have done, and then get you to break down, and then they take over from there. All right, and they end up using guilt tripping as well alongside it. So this is a very nefarious reason. Okay, this is if you're feeling like this is the person who's doing this, this is now becoming abusive. Now they are people who will in a relationship, have abusive tendencies, right? Because they are unhealed and have emotional wounds. And there are some people that are just genuine narcissists. Okay. Spotting the two can be sometimes a little bit of a tricky one, but yes, this is a very nefarious reason to stonewall, where the person is trying to gain power and control over you. All right. And they're trying to have their way, and they use the silent treatment to do so. Number two is that the person is conflict avoidant. They don't want to have an argument. They're scared of having an argument. They feel overwhelmed by arguments or by debates or by events that are seemingly high intensity in terms of emotion, and they stonewall you and the relationship. Okay, they distance themselves, they ignore you, they stay away from you because they're scared of having a conversation, because they don't want to have conflict. They're scared of where the conversation will go, which is another point, because they understand that this will be something that they'll have to deal with. And then rather than dealing with it, they become very passive and rather run away than actually standing there and actually sifting through what's happened and discussing it and potentially having a hard conversation, but having to say certain things. They run away. They're conflict avoidant as to why they stonewall. Number three, they fear the consequences of the conclusion of this conversation. Some people will stonewall because they know what's coming next. Okay, they're going to be told off. They're going to be told that they've hurt the other person. They're going to be told that, listen, relationship is over. They're going to be told that, listen, maybe something, I cheated on you or something like that, or I don't know, something crazy. They can see ahead that there's a consequence that's going to happen from this conversation, and rather than dealing with the consequence, they run away. Okay, they run away from from what they think they're going to hear or what they're going to see, and so rather than dealing with it, similar enough to the conflict avoidant, because of the conclusion of consequence, they stonewall. Okay, they stonewall the conversation. All right, they stonewall the conversation. Number four, somebody doesn't want to be on either side. They want to be neutral. So situations where, like, for instance, maybe your partner's having an argument about your dad and saying your dad is too intrusive, and rather than you taking a side, you stonewall because you know that every time that conversation comes up, you've got to choose a side, and you don't want to choose a side because you love your dad and you love your partner, or you love your mom and you love your partner, and it's difficult. Okay, it's difficult for you because you're feeling like, I don't want to have to choose, but this conversation, I know where it's going, it's going to make me choose, and so I stay neutral on the subject and become stonewall. Right, so you ask me questions and I ignore it. You ask me something and I deflect. You ask me something and I say, I'm busy, I can't talk right now. You ask me something or you text me the thing and I ignore the text. You text me something, you phone me something and I ignore the call. Something like that, you stonewall from the situation, right? So that you don't have to hear this conversation and you can stay neutral and not choose either side. Number five, bit more closer to the number one point of being nefarious. This is, I want you to feel as I do. Sometimes people are hurt and they want to use stonewalling to make you feel as they do. Latte, latte. They want to make you feel the way they're feeling. You just hurt my feelings. I'm going to make sure that you feel what I felt. Okay? You ain't going to get away with it. All right? You're going to get what I want to get. Okay? Which is that you're going to get, you know, the same energy you gave to me. Right? That's one of the reasons why people feel as people do Stonewall. They want you to feel as they do. And my final point in this is you struggle to communicate how you feel. And this is where I think a lot of people, most people are in stonewalling. The overwhelming feeling of not being able to communicate forces an individual to choose a different action where they may stonewall because they're not sure how to handle a conversation. They're not necessarily conflict avoidant. They just don't have the language, and the frustration from that makes them want to stonewall. The frustration and the anger and the feelings that they are struggling to communicate makes them want to go the opposite direction and stonewall in their relationship. And a lot of people do this, right? They're not necessarily stonewallers. They continually do that, but they may use stonewalling at that point because they feel like, I'm trying to explain how I feel, but it's just frustrating. I can't do it. And then rather than, it's like, I don't want to look stupid. I don't want to look dumb. I don't want to be vulnerable in this moment. I don't want to look like I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't want to talk in circles at this moment. I don't want you to you know, And so I'm going to just stonewall rather than dealing with an issue at hand. Yeah. So those are just six reasons as to why you may stonewall. Now, furthermore, there are further reasons as to that, but we chose 6 here that were strong enough to hopefully cover most bases. So like, share, subscribe, click on the bell button for notification on uploads. Let's deal with how to recover from stonewall or how to not stonewall in the next video. Appreciate you guys.